Who doesn't want to improve their smash?
Well, we've developed a 6-episode smash series just to help you do so.
Well, in this first episode, we're going to start with the fundamentals. So let's get into it.
So the fundamentals, what we're going to do is actually take you through 3 different areas that we see the real common mistakes made in. But to begin with, Dean, let's just talk really quickly about just the setup position.
Yeah, and it's the setup position that we would use for all of our overhead shots. So we're looking at kind of basic side-on position. So for me as a right-hander, left shoulder towards the net. Nice stretch across the chest, so we feel like we can generate that power. And then using our typical forehand grip.
And that grip is a great place to start because it's probably the biggest mistake we see a lot of players make. And that is that transition from a loose grip to a tight grip to generate that power. I think what we often see, Dean, is people ready to hit a smash, they get really tense, all up their shoulder, and then they can't actually get this squeeze on the grip. And that's what creates that real nice whip speed through the shot and creates all that power.
So what is it that we actually want to be doing with the grip pressure? Now, when we're swinging, we want to feel that we're almost having a 2 out of 10, so almost just supporting the grip. And it's as we're then coming into contact, where we're then here and make contact with the shuttle, where we then look to squeeze the grip, and that's where we can generate a lot more power.
And whilst we are talking about the grip, it's also worth looking at where we hold it on the handle. Now, what we often see people doing is they'll often hold quite high up when they're trying to play a few control shots, which is great, but they're not transitioning down the grip as they hit their rear court shots. The lower we hold it, the more power we can actually generate. We've got a longer lever now with the racket. So what you'll see a lot of players do is transition down the grip, hit there with their smash right near the bottom to generate all that power.
So number 2, contact point. And if you're someone that finds your smash is coming out too flat, this is going to be an important tip for you.
And contact point is such a vital thing for a smash. And it really changes the difference between almost a clear and a smash because we want to hit both of those shots hard, but the contact point is very different for both. If we look at the smash, as we come through, we want that racket face pointing downwards on contact. For that, we want the shuttle in front of us, forcing that face on us. Think of our swing coming through and down. That's getting that face pointing down. So like Dean said, if you are someone where that smash is coming out really flat, that is going to be because our contact point is probably a bit too high and that face is pointing dead flat.
And David, what's probably worth mentioning here is that yes, smash power is very important, but people can only think about that one element. And as you said there, angle also is a key point of hitting the best possible smash. So sometimes what we see is that people don't actually move behind the shuttle far enough to be able to hit this contact point in front of them. So David, what have you got for them to help improve this?
Well, what I like to do with a lot of my players is get them standing really quite far back on the court, and then I hit a short lift, and what that does is force them to come onto the shuttle a lot more. So they're getting that contact point right out in front of them. What we often see is people standing really too far forward, getting way back, and they're just not getting behind that shuttle. And as soon as that shuttle's behind your head, Dean, there's no way you're getting that racket angle coming downwards with any power.
It's very interesting how you demo that, David. Actually, your first movement there was actually with your back, and that's what we also see a lot of. And we have to really think about driving our legs nice and quickly to get behind that shuttle.
And the final error we sometimes see being made when it comes to the fundamentals, Dean, is getting this swing right through. Do you want to talk me through that?
So it's very much that sometimes people are so fascinated about hitting the shuttle that they forget to kind of follow through with their racket. So what I mean by that is that when they're in this position, they almost make contact and then forget to kind of swing the racket all the way through. Now, if we're trying to hit a smash as hard as we possibly can, there's no way that I would be able to hit that shuttle as hard as I could if I'm stopping the racket so early. So it's all about trying to feel like we're completing the swing, allowing that racket to follow through the whole shot, which will also help our recovery move forward as well.
And we can really link this back to that tip number 2, where it's contact point and getting behind the shuttle. Because the more you're behind the shuttle, the more you can then get that body weight right through, instead of leaning back where you're just never going to be able to get that full swing.
And we have to remember that the smash, obviously, we're trying to play fast and be aggressive, but there's still a chance that shot's going to come back. So we still have to very much think of how fast we recover to get back in the position to hopefully play another effective shot after hitting the smash.
So we hope you enjoyed this first episode on the fundamentals of the smash. Just to recap, tip number 1 was focused on having a loose grip and then squeezing through on contact to generate that power.
Tip number 2 was very much about where we make contact with that smash, stretching in front of the body more to allow us to hit a steeper angle.
And tip number 3 was completing your swing, not stopping too early to get your body weight back into court.
And make sure you keep an eye out for episode 2, which is all about creating power. And as always, if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button and head over to our Instagram and give us a follow.